Hey everyone, my name is Aaron Redbird Speed. Today we're going to be talking about how to measure your rear end from wheel mounting surface to wheel mounting surface. So what we mean by that is from where your wheel hits either your drum or your rotor to where your wheel hits the drum or rotor on the opposite side. So total rear end width. So right here, now this is going to be a housing only, no axles, no brakes. So when you go and you add your axle into this, pardon my drawing here, when you add your axle to that, you're adding the distance from your axle face to the outside of your housing end on each side. So let's do some math here. Let's say you have a 69 Camaro that's 60 inches from wheel to wheel. So I know from experience this housing is going to be $54.25. Now this axle stick out is going to be 2 3/4 inches per side. So you add 2 3/4, 2 3/4, and then if you add your drums to this, so add your drum here, put your drums on there, that adds an 1/8 inch per side. So now you add that all together, 60 inches wheel to wheel. So what I mean by that is from where the wheel hits the outside of this drum, your studs are sticking out here. So from outside of drum to outside of drum, you're looking at 60 inches wheel mounting surface to wheel mounting surface. And that would be like a first gen Camaro. There's a lot of applications, Tri-5 Chevys. There's a lot of vehicles that are 60 inches wheel to wheel. But that kind of breaks it down. 54.25 outside of housing end, outside of housing end. Got your 2 3/4 brake offset per side. Got your 1/8 inch drums per side. Adds up to 60 inches wheel to wheel. Now let's say you want to do something custom. Let's say you want to let's work from the outside in here. So let's say you decide, all right, I want to take 1 inch off per side. I got a deep dish wheel. I got some mini tubs on a Chevelle, whatever you're doing. Let's say you want to do 58 inches wheel to wheel. Okay. Now, pretty much every manufacturer that I know of defaults to what's called a big Ford new style Trino end. I don't want to get too far down that rabbit hole, but that's what everybody likes to use pretty much across the board. Every major manufacturer is going to default to that. So when you figure that in, you got to compensate for, instead of whatever brake offset you might have had before, you got a 2.5 inch brake offset. So we go minus 2.5, minus 2.5. Here's another thing. Your rotor, your hat, as a general rule across the board, they're going to be about 1/4 inch thick as opposed to your drum being about 1/8 inch thick. So minus 1/4, minus 1/4. $52.5 inches. So add your 5.5 inches back into that, 58 inches wheel to wheel. So let's see how that stacks up here. So you got your rotors here. So these are right here. They're about a 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch thick. That's from like right here from each side of the rotor. So it's about 1/4 inch thick. Got your axle face. Again, my drawing's not the best, but you got a 2.5 inch stick out. Oh. So that 2.5 inch brake stick out from outside of axle face to housing, and you got your 2.5 stick out. So you got your 1/4 inch, your 2.5 inch, 1/4 inch, 2.5 inch, 58 inches wheel to wheel. Subtract those numbers. So it gives you a 52.5 inch wide housing. So that's like two ways to look at it. So working kind of from the inside out for like a stock length application, or you say, hey, I want to narrow this. I want it to be this wide. You can kind of go with, use that as a starting point to figure out how wide your housing needs to be. You can catch us on our next video. We're going to talk about pinion offsets. Real briefly, measuring pinion offsets, you're going to be talking about measuring from outside of housing in to the center of the pinion nut here on each side. So we'll work on that next, but this gives you a general idea when you're talking wheel to wheel. How wide is this rear end? How wide should it be? How do I measure? What's housing width? What's axle offset? What's pinion offset? Don't let this overcomplicate you. If you have any questions, give us a call. We're always available. We're here to help. So be sure to reach out if you have any questions and go from there. Hey, check us on the next video for pinion offset. Have a good day.